Today I'm at the Jane Austen House Museum. Now, I've been talking quite a lot about Chawton House, which is less than 5 minutes up the road, but that in fact was owned by Edward Austen, who was Jane Austen's brother. He purchased the house, which is just behind me, for his sister Jane and Cassandra to live. Now, I'm hoping to be able to take the camera inside with me, so come and let's walk in the footsteps of this great literary author. So I just purchased my ticket for the Jane Austen House Museum, and this ticket is actually valid for a full year from the time of purchase. So it means if I don't get to see all of the things I want to see inside the house, then I get to come back again and I don't have to repay. It's also good if you want to visit Chawton House Library, because you get £1 off of the price of your ticket at Chawton if you present a Jane Austen House Museum ticket. So definitely worth knowing about if you're wanting to visit the two places that Jane Austen came to. I've just walked inside the kitchen and there is an amazing smell of lavender in here. Sometimes I really want videos to have smellograms as well, so that I can transfer and capture the smells that are inside each room that I come to. Now, the kitchen here has come up with some really innovative approaches to showing all the different things that happened. So, for example, you can write with quills and pens and inks and get a real sense of what it was like to write in the 18th century style. And you can even make your own lavender bag, such as this, which I just made a few moments ago. So that's my Blue Peter moment. I made it before I shot this video, but you can come in here yourself and make your own lavender bag as a keepsake. Inside this room, we have items that were actually found under the floorboards in this house, and some of them may be linked to Austen herself. And then in this cabinet next to it, we have items of evening wear that would have been worn by ladies during this period. I particularly like seeing these satin shoes and mittens. They're so very delicate, and it's hard to imagine that they might have been worn with such frequency. This is Jane Austen's bedroom, which was most likely shared by Jane and her sister Cassandra. Inside, we have little items such as portraits of Jane that were drawn by her sister Cassandra, and we have other items pertaining to the Austen family. We even have a replica of a Georgian bed that Jane may have slept in. Just behind this cabinet is Jane Austen's muslin shawl, which she is known to have sewn while she was resident at this house. Look at how delicately it has been sewn together. Just knowing that she had this around her shoulders and spent so much time with it is really quite inspiring to see. Dedicated bedroom for the Austen sisters. Rather, the museum think that this room was laid out for the many visiting family members that came to stay here. But what the museum have actually done is to provide a story of Jane Austen's sailor brothers and the importance of the Royal Navy during this period. We even have in here little replicas of writing cases, Charles Austen's silver salver, and some little pictures of her brothers just inside this cabinet. It just goes to show that not all rooms need to be laid out as they were once intended and can actually be used to tell another part of history going on at the same time the Austen sisters were here. Jane did not pass away in her beloved hometown of Chawton. Rather, she had went to Winchester to seek medical help and unfortunately passed away while in the city. But in this room, we get a little bit more information about the last days of her illness and even a letter written by her sister Cassandra, who talked about her last days and what it was like to see her sister pass away. The dining parlour, we have the writing table that is believed Jane often wrote at. Apparently, her mother, after Jane's death, gifted this to a footman called William Littleworth who had worked for her. And he had said that he'd often recalled Jane writing at this table. It is only now that it has found its way back into her home. I've just been inside the house and the first question I was asked was, did I play piano? So of course I said, well, yes. And I had a little go at the square Clementi piano that's inside. It's not the piano that Jane had, but it's very close to similar pianos that were around at the period. And it's quite exciting to know that you can go and have a tinkle if you want to. I've just come out into the garden, which is beautifully laid out just outside of the house. And imagine my shock when I come out and find a sneaky little visitor curled up having his afternoon snooze. Now, anybody knows me knows how much I love kitty cats, but I'm not going to disturb him as he seems to be having quite a nice rest. The garden has a stunning array of plants which aren't quite in full splendour as we've only reached the beginning of spring. But it also seems to have had some of these plants planted by some celebrities, including Alan Titchmarsh, who planted this Pride and Prejudice in 2013. In coming to visit this house, I think one of the things that I'm most surprised to see is just how large this garden outside of the house really is. I have no idea if this is what Jane saw or smelled or heard while she was here, and probably the plants are quite different to what she might have had. But it's inspiring to know that she was here, she would have walked these grounds, and frequently would have made the 5-minute journey up to Chawton House to see her brother that I've been making throughout this trip. Finished inside the Jane Austen House Museum, and this really is a fascinating museum that's laid out in quite an innovative way to give you some more context about the Georgian period in which Jane lived, more information about her family, as well as Jane herself. They also have some really interesting unique items that you wouldn't be able to see anywhere else. If you have liked this video, then do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to find out more about my research adventures and things that I see. And do give me a comment below as well if you have liked this video or you want to suggest any other places that I should visit. I also have a Twitter and a WordPress as well, which details more information about my research. Thanks so much for watching.